Hello, Ben.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We're back doing this
Yes.
because that's what we like. We're going to drive from Hamburg to Slovakia,
Lovely, lucky us.
and on the way we're just going to talk shit like we always do. So with that in
Well,
mind,
I've got something that just popped up actually.
it's not your rash again, is it? Because I keep telling you.
No, I got a message from a patron.
Good God.
Patron. Yes. So, I did some editing on my Patreon a little while ago, and I took out the personal essay section for, as it transpires, everything apart from the top level.
Okay.
Now I have one patron on the top level,
Yeah.
and I think he misunderstood what I meant by personal essays, which isn't really his fault because I see what he means. He's essentially asked if I could maybe do some on a couple of topics he sent
Uh-oh.
over. He said he's been very nice about it. He says, please when you get some time, and there's no rush on his part, but it's a fair request, and you know what? It's a reasonable reading of that. I left it up. He's giving me 20 quid a month, so yeah, I will do. And the only issue is it's two topics I don't really have a lot to say about. Um,
That's not
but
helpful.
I can do a bit, and
I've taken a wrong turn already,
you load of silly sausage.
so I'm now in a bit of done a bit of damage trying to fix my mistake.
I mean, one's doing more for me than the other. Yes, but
Always the
yeah,
way.
yeah, I'll I'll look into it.
Ah, that's all you can do, isn't it? Let's have a little
Yeah,
shifters. See how you feel about them. Um, it may interest you to know that we've acquired another follower on YouTube in the last
oh,
however long.
oh dear.
We're now on 49.
That's all.
Well, we were a minute ago in between videos.
Lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing that's happened. I'm going to chalk it up to I don't know you mostly. I think putting up with their bullshit.
Anything
Their
but pleasantly,
well-meaning bullshit, I should say.
and they got me a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Uh,
I personally don't care for it all, but you know my
yeah.
thoughts on that game. Fuck it, right? I've no issue with it. I'm not going to get overly excited
No,
about it either.
no. Well, I'll look in.
Ah!
Well,
Oh, we are losing money. Oh well.
yeah, I'll look into those essays. I'm gonna have such a productive weekend with my my soap YouTube channel. I'm gonna get 2 tier videos done, some editing on the main thing done as well. Now, when I said personal essays, I sort of meant essays about the video I just done.
Well, I assumed it would be an essay that you had written, but
Yeah,
like you'd written it. You'd come out with what you were going to write. You were going to formulate the whole thing.
but I appreciate why they've thought that, and I'm not about to disabuse them of that notion because they give me a lot of money, and I don't put out videos as often as I'd like. So yeah, they're getting that. Seems fair.
Be honest. How quickly could you get a video out if you really wanted to?
If I really wanted to,
Yeah,
well, I mean, let's see. I've got to do research, right?
yeah.
I've got to write the script. I have to record audio.
Don't forget the theme song.
I have to edit the audio. I have to do the video editing. That's 5 things. So research I could spend. I mean, if I'm dedicating as much time as I possibly can to it. I mean, really it's a weekend thing. So that's what. Let's be let's say 2 those. So that's 6 days for research.
Okay, so that's
Let's
3 weeks.
put no, no. I get 3 days off. Remember?
Yes, I assumed you'd want some time to yourself.
Well, you said if I really went for it.
I mean, yeah, if you really went for it, but realistically, if you really went for it, you'd still want a day to yourself, wouldn't you?
I could have had this video out if I'd focused on it more than my other project which popped up in the middle. So probably a couple of months, 2-3 months.
Well,
But look, I've got other things to do, and I need to step away from it from time to time.
life gets in the way.
Yeah. But he's he'll get that.
If it were me, I'd never even started because it's not my kind of thing. But it is yours. I'd never have even started because it's not my kind of thing.
No. No, it isn't, is it?
But I wanted it to sound like I was going to give you some sort of unsolicited advice about what you should do and what I would do if I was in your position.
He also opened it with "Dear Sir," which endeared me to him.
Someone called me Sir recently, and it threw me off because it's not something I enjoy being called.
Well, working in a school, I get called Sir.
I'm not really.
Not infrequently.
I don't like being called Mr. and my last name either. I used to, I used to quite like it, but then it's just call me by my name. It's easier. My actual first name. I don't need much more than that. I'm not fancy, in any sense of the term.
No, you're not, are you?
Really not. I've been thinking about playing this game by myself again. Not this save, my other save, because I've been getting into audiobooks. So you'll have seen that I did a bit of Hard Space Shipbreaker this week, potentially.
Potentially.
You'd have potentially seen it. I did do some. Just because it was a nice thing for me to do whilst I was listening to the audiobook that I'm working my way through. Stephen Fry talking Sherlock Holmes at me, and in particular saying some rather amusing things, because there's a lot of ejaculating.
Yes, as we mentioned before, Arthur Conan uses the term ejaculating for shouting,
Which is perfectly reasonable.
It was of the time.
Yeah. But I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. There was a point in which he said, "I do believe I've touched bottom at last."
We didn't ejaculate it.
And in this case, it was rock bottom.
Holmes ejaculated.
It was rock bottom in this circumstance, but it wasn't phrased rock bottom. It was just, yeah. I did have a story in which he dies.
Yes.
Quote unquote. But it's still not certain to me as to whether the stories that this is the first story I've had since, and it's not. I can't remember if it was described at the start as being before or after the events, because it's so easy to kill someone off, but then provide more stories about their life, right? From beforehand.
Yeah.
You don't just because we know he backtracked on killing off Sherlock Holmes doesn't actually mean that he backtracked on it. He might have just provided more lore from beforehand.
I have a feeling, which I said to you, that a lot of them are prequel stories.
It depends on what you consider to be.
What's set before he died?
Well, I mean, everything that takes place is going to be set before he died, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the fact that most of them they're all accounts as written by Watson. Mean that they're all retrospectives anyway, aren't they? They're all prequels in the sense that they are taking place before the point at which they're written. But that's not really what we mean by prequel, is it?
No, I think well, so many Sherlock Holmes adaptations have said that Watson embellished the stories a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where Sherlock said to him that if he intends to provide an accurate description of the tales, then he needs to mention this particular failing as well as his successors. And that was quoted in there, so it definitely got mentioned. I can't remember what the failing was, but it was a thing. And there was a bit of talk about how, some of the things that it's fuck's sake. They blocked off the road I needed, so I didn't go down it, and it turns out it's the road I needed. Bastards. Alright, okay. So yeah, we've had an awful lot of stuff. There was one, he mentioned 2 particular times where things did not go as they should have done, where he'd made the mistake, but we still got the correct outcome. In one particular case, he thought that it was someone's former husband who was who had snuck into a property that she was looking after. It was in fact her child.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And there was a bit of a scandal because, or at least there was a bit of a scandal where they came from over in America because they were black, the child and the former husband.
How did Holmes feel about that?
He didn't give a shit.
Well, he got in trouble, didn't he?
And
that guy got.
Neither did her current husband, who said that she feared that he feared that she may have misjudged him as less of a man than she ought to have, and because he literally upon meeting this child, he hugged them and said, "This is a conversation we should be having at home in the comfort of our home." And it's very supportive of the fact that she had a child with someone else, and he loved her, so he was gonna. Of course, I'm gonna fucking. It doesn't change anything.
Progressive at the time.
Yeah, well, late 1800s, absolutely. But no, I am enjoying the story. I'm about halfway through, I think now. Let me just double check. Because I mean, the entire thing is 70.
Watch the road.
Yeah, I am. The entire thing is 72 hours long, and I am 35 hours in, so I'm just under halfway.
Gosh.
I know.
But I feel like.
So go on.
No, you first.
I was about 23 hours in on Tuesday, so I have hammered it this last day or so.
Nice. See, I feel like I probably wouldn't get into the books, but I'd probably watch some of the old Jeremy. What's his face is what? No, Jeremy Beadle's Sherlock Holmes.
Jeremy Beadle did Sherlock Holmes.
Jeremy Renner, Jeremy Brent.
Jeremy Brent. Okay. Because I was going to say if it was Jeremy Beadle, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Watch out, Sherlock's about. I mean, he went into me.
Right.
I was on the road and he turned into me.
Did you hit another school kid?
No, it was a school bus or a coach of some sort, and he tried to crash into me. I was in my lane. The footage you should have been watching.
Alright, I was
looking up Jeremy Beadle.
Jeremy Brett. Yeah, I mean he looks exactly how you sort of imagine Sherlock to look. He sort of has defined I suppose there were illustrations prior to this, but he's got the look of a Sherlock Holmes, Jeremy Brett, a thin, intelligent face. Sharp eyes.
So far, there's only actually been one story in which Moriarty has been mentioned.
Yeah, he's not as big of a villain in the books.
I mean, no, he is, but he's not a very present villain.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not Sherlock Holmes's arch nemesis, I guess, in the sense we think of him today.
No,
and his crimes aren't particularly massive either.
He helps orchestrate crime. That's it. That's what he does. He doesn't necessarily.
Yes,
he's the antithesis to
consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you want to murder someone, he'll tell you how and point you in the right direction.
He very much threatened to kill Sherlock Holmes. It was like, there are 2 ways this can go. Either you can leave this, or you can either pursue this and attempt to arrest me, which will not be successful and will lead to your own downfall, or you can try to kill me, but it will only kill yourself as well. And Sherlock was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Fucking die.
Fall off a waterfall together.
Well, it wasn't even a waterfall. It was just a pathway near a waterfall. Very narrow pathway.
Well, you know what they say, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yes, TLC definitely did say that. Do you know, the account of that particular incident is that Watson was with Holmes and had been called away to the hotel they were staying at because there was a English woman there who refused to see a Swiss doctor, and knowing that he was a doctor, she was like, "Can you provide comfort to this woman who's probably going to die in the next hour or so of consumption?" I think it was. Why are you fucking opening it? Why can't you fucking pay attention?
I am paying attention.
Well, what were you opening then? What video?
What was
You was a video. There was a video there. Don't fucking pretend there wasn't.
Okay, there was.
Okay.
I was gearing up for the next topic and I accidentally clicked it.
So Watson had been called away to this hotel they were staying at to care for this woman, and it was only upon getting there that he realised that it was a ruse.
Oh.
And he was kicking himself for having left. And Sherlock insisted that he go, and had left a little note. Moriarty's willing to let him leave a note out of kindness, so he's not a complete bastard. Left a note for him saying, I suspected that it was a ruse, but it was better that you not get caught up in all this, or something like that. So,
But someone needs to keep writing the books.
Well, exactly.
My absence. Keep Mrs. Hudson in fancy furs.
Well, they're not. He's not living there. He's already married at this point. He's long married and gone.
Why didn't that woman want to be treated by a Swiss doctor?
Racism, but the woman didn't exist.
Right.
There was no woman. It was a ruse.
That's a weird. You don't hear much racism against the Swiss, do you?
Well, no, but I mean, they speak French, don't they?
Yeah, but you target the French. You don't.
Do they speak French in Switzerland? I feel like
bloody Swiss, with their cuckoo clocks and their Nazi gold.
No, it's pre-Nazi gold at that point.
That's true.
Oh,
maybe she saw writing on the wall.
Maybe.
Things were going.
All in all, though, I am enjoying it. We had Mycroft as well.
Yeah.
He was involved.
The Diogenes Club.
We have.
Well, they just sit around and do nothing.
They don't. With the exception of the strangers' room, they don't talk at all. It's not permitted.
What happens in the strangers' room?
Well, it's a room they can talk in.
Oh, right.
But like they can't talk in any of the rooms. Is what I understood of it.
There's a club in London. I think this was an episode of QI, where they refer to everybody who works there as Charles. I think it's Charles. It's probably something else. So you never have to bother to learn anybody's name.
I suppose that's helpful.
You go there and you go, oh, hello, Charles. I thought Charles was at the bar tonight. Oh no, Charles is in next Sunday. So, oh, really? Oh.
And which Charles is this? So Charles, the Charles of all Charleses. Actual Charles.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm done. So we can move on if you want.
No, I enjoy the Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, it reminds me of how I think that's how the whole Lovey thing, calling people darling, started. Because you meet so many people in the theatrical world, you just call them all darling, or Lovey. Do you want to know what the video was?
Well, I assume you want to talk about it, so you might as well.
Yeah. So when I was nipping out from a vape, I checked Facebook.
Dangerous.
And I was met with an ad.
As often
sort
as
of blind. Yes, it was an ad for, from first appearances, it looked like Peter Kay.
Okay.
So Peter Kay is going on tour, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked a bit closer, and it said Peter Kay, the #1 Peter Kay tribute act. I thought, oh, that's funny. Yes, Peter Kay's #1 tribute act. Then I read the description, and it's for a guy called Simon Mark.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not.
Sorry.
That's not an overly good thing, then, is it? Like a. Sorry, go on, carry on, just go.
Well, it's weird because I'm watching his video, and he's just doing Peter Kay. It's just him doing Peter Kay stand up.
I mean that makes sense if he's an impersonator. I mean, what else are you gonna do? He's not gonna dress up as the Absorbent off, is he?
Here's the question though.
Mm.
Can you think of another comedian that has an impersonator who does stand up as Peter Kay or as that comedian with their material?
I don't know very many impersonators that do stand up. To be quite honest with you, it's not a field I have much experience in.
There's no Jimmy Carr impersonator stand-up. It's fucking weird. I'm gonna look into this. Simon Mark, Peter Kay impersonator.
Whilst you're looking that up, I had a strange series of adverts on my Facebook recently.
Oh, I dread to think.
It seems to think I'm into Japanese media. It wants the title for this was "Own Your Own Library of Asian Cinema," and all the titles of it and the few bits that I ended up actually looking up were all from Japan. One particular thing, the name of it caught my attention because this is exactly the kind of thing that you would have thought I would want to buy. Erotic ghost story 1 to 3 collection.
Yeah, that sums it up all right.
Like, what the fuck? Why does it think I want erotic ghost story? Just because I've got the idea of a 3-part sex story scribbled on my whiteboard doesn't mean I want to read an erotic ghost story collection.
It goes by what you Google.
Well, I haven't Googled any of that shit. I'm not Googling erotic ghost stories. I'm not Googling Asian cinema. Mental. Have you found anything then? Any of us?
Surprisingly, little information about this guy. Apparently, there are a few Peter Kay tribute acts.
Well, you'd have to have at least a few if you're going to call yourself the best. You got to have some competition, or it doesn't really count, does it?
It's fucking weird.
Oh, actually,
that's weird.
This has just sort of reminded me very briefly. You know how I've given up on captioning?
Yes.
It seems, in my absence, but unrelated to my absence, the community is basically dying.
You got out at the right time.
I think I jumped ship at just the right time.
Why is the community dying? Is
I don't.
AI?
I'm not really understanding exactly what's going on, but the gist I get is that Reddit's basically causing issues for people. It's not letting certain image sharing sites it's not letting you use certain image hosting sites for transferring onto Reddit anymore, and it's basically throwing a big spanner in the works for a lot of people.
Are they coming down hard on it?
They're not really coming down on it. It's just they're not necessarily supporting it in the ways that they would support other communities, and that's understandable, right? I get it. You know, trouble is, I don't think they're going to do what Tumblr did and basically ban the content because that basically killed off half of Tumblr's people, right? The purge was a big old thing. I managed to get through it somehow. I don't know, but then I just all the people that I'd built some connections up with had been either taken down or decided it wasn't worth hanging around anymore. So you know, and I'm still
That's
on
the problem,
Reddit.
isn't? That's the problem, isn't it? As a social media platform, you want to be respectable, but these sort of sites and blogs and whatever bring in a lot of money, so you get rid of them and you immediately lose half your stock price. It's like, I remember a while ago there was chat about OnlyFans getting rid of the nudie content creator, and that was baffling.
I mean, it's how they made all their money.
Well, yeah, I mean, they clearly had ideas at the beginning that they would be, I guess, like Patreon.
Yeah, something like that.
But you don't. Why would you? It's insane that you would even think about doing that these days. They must really not like it, but at this point,
it's too ingrained in it.
That is what you are, and presumably you're raking it in.
Well,
very, very strange.
There are certain things that NSFW accounts on Reddit don't have access to, like well, NSFW subreddits don't count towards your achievements on Reddit because they've introduced achievements. Whenever they do their yearly review, they don't count anything that took part in an NSFW subreddit. So, like, my most upvoted thing last year was like a random comment that got like 4 upvotes because like everything else was sexual.
Have you got your fan on?
My fan's been on for the whole fucking time, Ben. I haven't turned it off. What I've done is I've poured myself another drink out.
Oh, that might be it because I'm getting a bit of interference.
Could be your end.
it's not. It's never my end.
All I'm saying, the only thing that's changed here is I started pouring myself another drink out. That's it.
Maybe.
So, you know.
Maybe.
What do we do here? Do we take a rest stop now, or do we wait till the next one? Let's take the next one. I don't think we've left Germany yet.
We'll never leave Germany.
Not if we can help it. No, get rid of them. Yeah, we're gonna enter the Czech Republic soon. I nearly had a pen pal from the Czech Republic, you know.
Was it Czech Republic? That was Czechoslovakia once, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not anymore, is it?
Well, no, that's why we have the Czech Republic and we have Slovakia.
Yeah.
That's basically literally how it happened.
Yeah, that was a very rough time. I remember hearing.
I wouldn't know. Would not know.
Very brutal war. Well, I knew about it before, but I watched a documentary, believe it or not, about Euro 90 something or other.
The football.
Yes.
God, you would watch documentaries about any old shit, won't you?
I don't really like football, but I do like a football documentary, varying depending. You know, and it was mentioned there, one with Gaza, bloody Gaza and all his bloody antics.
I feel like I'd be quite good at FIFA.
Yeah.
Like, how hard can FIFA really be, right? But I can't run it on anything that I've got. I own it. I own a FIFA game on Steam, but I can't play the damn thing because it won't go on the Steam Deck, and the PC definitely can't handle it. So I can't play FIFA.
Well, would you like another topic?
Oh, if you want, I've got a few.
Well, I'll give you one of mine.
Right.
So, I heard a rumor through the grapevine.
You can't always trust what the grapevine says.
I was having a look online during my break, and I saw a news story that made me go, "Oh gosh, that's big. Yeah. That's big news."
Oh boy.
Traffic lights.
Oh no.
How many colours?
How many colours are they, or how many colours should they have?
How many colours are there?
4.
No, you idiot. 3.
No, there's 4. Each individual one has 3, but some of them have blue instead of green.
Well, they're adding a 4th one day, perhaps. This is to do with driverless vehicles.
I
just
really
proposed this, and because there's going to be a mix of proper normal cars and robot ones, they are proposing North Carolina State University. They're proposing a white light at traffic lights, so that will help with the flow. Yeah, red lights will mean stop. Green lights will mean go. And white lights will tell human drivers to simply follow the car in front of them.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what most people just do anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends where you're going. The white light will indicate to people that the AVs are coordinating their movements to move traffic through the intersection. Follow any non-automated vehicles would just need to follow the vehicle in front of them. So it's about traffic.
I don't know. I think once you start messing with such a deep-rooted formula, you risk potential issues, don't you?
Well, the world's changing.
Yeah, but some things have stayed the way they are for a reason.
Because we didn't have self-driving cars.
Well, I mean, if they can learn to use green, why do we need to change it?
But it's not about them learning anything. It's about if, they can figure out which way the best way is to... What the fuck are you doing?
I'd stay briefly looking away, and then I'd look to get at the right moment.
You very briefly look away. You almost drove us into the barrier.
I know. I stopped it from happening, didn't I?
Yeah,
I'm,
but
I'm
I mean,
gonna I'm gonna pull up into this rest
you only had to
stop.
look away briefly, and we almost died.
No, you're not gonna get hurt. I don't see you in. Oh, the windscreen wipers. I didn't realise it was raining that bad. No wonder I
Really?
couldn't see anything.
Does that help in game? Does that do anything?
Yeah, right here it does.
All right.
But I
Yeah,
drive
but
like this, so no, it doesn't.
if well, the gist is that they will know what situation the traffic is in, and they will help clear it by finding the optimum path
Do you want to
to
know what
clear
the
it.
issue with the traffic is around here?
What?
They keep doing bloody roadworks in very
Gob.
concentrated areas,
Yeah.
and they're going to do some more soon, and it's a 4 mile diversion. 4 miles, and all
I thought you were going to say.
they're cutting out
I see.
150 meters of fucking road from the route, and it's a 4 mile diversion.
I thought you were going to say women drivers.
No, I'm not a sexist. I'm not that kind of a sexist. No, honestly, near where I work, they're going to have major roadworks on 2 roundabouts, overnight works on another roundabout, a whole road closure which is causing the big disruption that I've just been talking about. They do not have a fucking clue, and this is all part of the levelling up fund money that we've been given. So supposedly it's all going to make things better, but it don't half make things hard. I don't mind doing all the work, right? But space it out. Don't do it all at once. I will take 2 years of roadworks if it means that I don't have a month of having to take an hour to get home.
Mm.
You know, inconvenience me a little rather than a little over a long period of time instead of a lot all at once. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who doesn't drive, I have no dog in this fight.
It's not good
I
for
don't think
the
it's going to wear
environment.
my bus.
It's not good for the environment for cars to be stationary with the engines
Nothing's
on.
good for the environment.
No, but
You're right.
You know, it's all well and good saying, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be driving anyway." Then some people have to drive. It would not be possible for me
Yeah.
to get my son to school and then get to work within the time frame allowed of me. It wouldn't be possible.
Mm.
It certainly wouldn't be possible for me to pick him up because I've got 45 minutes to fucking get there.
We need to rethink society. That's what we need to do.
Well, what we need is for everyone to work from home and be schooled remotely, as well. But that don't work.
Maybe not. Yeah. Maybe if we really go for this 20-minute cities or whatever, 15-minute cities,
Something like that.
That'd be good.
But people argue about it. Oh, I don't want to have easy access to everything I could possibly need in my city. Make me work for it. Fucking idiots. There are some real fucking morons out there, and they do make me worry that we're going to get another Tory government.
I'm sure we won't.
I have 2 words for you, Ben. MILF hunters. Feel free to go into it.
Well, you show me a video in our constituency.
My constituency, it's not yours.
Well, your constituency, where a guy was doing vox pops and figuring out what made one of the big Tory stronghold tick, with the MP constantly following him. And there was a bit where he introduced the cogsenti. What's that word?
Cognoscenti.
Cognoscenti, i.e. the people in the know for the local area, who looked like they didn't know much at all.
It's true. They are really in the know when it comes to the local area, right?
Yes, I can't imagine he feels anything but utter disgust towards them. One of them was a chap in a mobility scooter, and he was discussing how the MP had helped him out. At which point the cameraman, knowing exactly what he was doing, zoomed in on some stickers on this chap's mobility scooter, one of which was MILF Hunter, and that still amuses me. What was the other one?
Airbags. With a
Airbags.
picture of some scantily clad breasts next to it. So,
Yeah.
yes. Trouble is, the only other people that we saw in that video, and I understand that we only saw what they wanted us to see, so it's not necessarily truly reflective of the area. But the only other people we saw mentioned in the talk about what they're voting for in that video were going to vote reform.
Yeah, but there was one guy who said that people have been lied to about Brexit and stuff, which sort of suggested to me he was probably a Lib Demer. I don't know, or maybe just a slightly less monstrous Tory.
We've discovered Prague.
Oh,
Ah!
yeah. And then what if there was an old lady on that crossing? You would have wiped her out.
Wipe out!
You remember the guy who said we should bring back birching
Yes, I do.
in schools? And then he started ranting on about the Rothschild conspiracy
Yep.
and the World Bank.
And the World Health Organization.
Yes.
Can't forget them, man.
And even the interviewer struggled to hide his contempt for him.
Yeah. I interestingly enough, I'd seen that and I'd sent that on. I mean, I'd mentioned it to my partner as well, and I showed her. I randomly stumbled across the Mills Winters clip on TikTok, so I sent that to her because I'd mentioned it. And then shortly afterwards, my former partner sent me a link to it. It's like, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's fucking hilarious. And it is funny. It is funny, but it's also really fucking depressing.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't live there anymore.
Like, it does not. I commented on one of them saying this, as someone who lives in this area, it makes me both. It's fucking funny, but it makes me embarrassed as hell, or something like that.
Yes, it's the sort of place with where the locals have 3 teeth between them and no more than one in the same head. It's that sort of place.
It's depressing. I didn't realise there's actually a shop in town, and you'll someone had referenced how in one of his comments that it was a bit like Royston Vassy.
Basy, yeah.
And we do,
You know what?
we do in fact
Side
have
note.
a shop that describes itself as a local charity shop for local people or something like that.
God.
So
Do you know where Royston Vasey comes from?
no, I don't.
It's the real name of Roy Chubby Brown.
Is it really?
Royston Vasey, yes. He plays the mayor in one
Yeah.
episode.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard people call it Vassy, so that's why I say Vassy.
No, it's Royston Vasey.
I've not seen
from
the
League
show,
of
so-
Gentlemen. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bad, isn't it? It's not good.
No, it's not.
It's depressing. If there is a place where the Tories are still gonna get in, I worry it will be here. Like, obviously they're not gonna get wiped out completely bar one MP. You know, speculation.
Could you imagine?
If it were one Tory MP, fucking Greens have got as many MPs. Because they don't typically do well in general elections, do they? They get a lot of support, but it's quite widespread.
Mm.
It's just, it's, you know, first past the post is beautiful and terrible at the exact same time, because you end up with parties like the Greens who should have a lot more seats than they get. Like, the amount of seats they get per vote is ridiculous, or the amount of votes per seat is ridiculously high, right?
Yeah, I was watching ages ago. I think I told you I was watching old election coverage from a general election, and Paddy Ashdown said that the rate is going. It would have taken us like, I don't know what he said. It's something like 7 million votes per seat or something like that. Something ridiculous.
But on the flip
I don't think it's
side,
that high, but-
it means that parties like Reform don't end up with as many seats as they would probably get.
Well, I think you want a perfectly representative parliament, which means you sort of almost entirely living in coalition governments, which is probably a good thing.
Well, for the individual people, yeah, I'd say so.
Hmm.
I wonder how many independents are going to get. I suspect that the best bet around here for a non-Tory, non-Reform party would be the independent candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm inclined to maybe vote for him on that basis, as a Lib Dem. And I know, but the reason I've not seen any literature from him. I've not seen any literature from the Lib Dems. The Labour thing came through today. The Greens thing came in today, and I had the Tory thing last week, and that went promptly in the bin. I gave it a quick look, and then it went in the bin after wiping my arse with it.
I was going to say you wouldn't even wipe your ass.
It was plastic. It wouldn't have been any good for it. Plus, I got plenty of it. Oh, it's an ambulance.
You know.
Oh god, that's the point. Yesterday, day before, I saw an ambulance with a recruitment banner on the side of it.
God.
It was a private ambulance from an agency, former West Midlands ambulance, based on the faded writing on it. But the fact that this ambulance from this private agency had a fucking recruitment banner on the side, just I don't want to say dystopian, but it doesn't give me much faith in the much faith in how much people care about the NHS. People talk about care about the NHS and fucking fund it, then.
Yeah,
Give it the fucking money that it needs.
I remember ages ago I was at an event.
Good God, that's an event.
Well, I say an event. I'm using the broadest terms possible. But
Whatever came over you.
I was sitting with a bunch of strangers. We were all strangers and making small talk. And one person mentioned that their mum worked for the NHS, and rather an older lady said, "Oh, is she a doctor?" And "Oh no, she's just a nurse." And this old lady took umbrage with it and said, "Nobody's just a nurse." And I guarantee you she voted Tory.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Every individual in the NHS matters. Every single one of them. If you are an NHS employee, you matter. Because what you do, so long as you're not one of these random nurses that decides you're going to kill babies, allegedly.
Yeah, you're Beverly Allen.
I was thinking the more recent one, Lucy Letby.
It's then we've got more than one to choose from.
Yes, it is a bit, isn't it? As long as you're not one of those people, then you are and you're actually doing your job. Then be fucking proud of the fact that you are supporting and working in one of the great health institutions in the world. It may not seem that great right now. It may not feel that great right now, but what the NHS stands for, what it is in principle, is one of the greatest healthcare systems in the world, and it's a fucking shame that we're letting it rot like this.
Yes, it's a utopian ideal.
And we're letting it slip away from our fingers.
Yeah, we're fucked.
We have this wonderful thing, this champion amongst healthcare systems, and we're letting it fucking die because of politics.
Well, speaking of health, do you remember last week we mentioned that Ian McKellen fell off stage?
Yeah.
Well, there's an unheard from victim in all of this story.
Was it the person he fell on?
The lady he landed on.
Oh, bless her.
Now, she's been pretty vocal about how the theatre staff didn't give two shits about her.
How old is she?
Pretty young.
Oh, I mean, you'd get over it then, wouldn't you? I mean, realistically, in the moment, who are they going to give a shit about? Fucking 90-year-old Ian McKellen, or...
Yeah, I wrote this down in my topic list. Is why won't anyone think of the lady Ian McKellen landed on? She's 30.
Get over it, woman.
She's still in a bit of pain.
That's what painkillers are for.
She was. There's a picture of her being supported by a doctor and some staff at the theatre foyer. In theatre foyer.
Yeah.
And that's her crying in a hospital.
I mean,
she was rather understandably shocked.
Yeah, you would be.
He said that she felt that the theatre staff did not adequately respond to the injuries and shock that she suffered. Ian McKellen is 85. Apparently, he was screaming when he fell. He was an 85-year-old man lying on the floor screaming in pain.
Yeah. And she's concerned that not enough people gave a shit about her.
Yes.
That kind of a fall could kill him.
Well, he did hit his head.
As
he tripped on a prop, he built up momentum and flew headfirst into me in the audience. It's not funny. We love Sir Ian McKellen.
Don't get me wrong. She deserves the care and attention. But of the two of them, prioritise Ian McKellen, and once he's stable and sorted out, give a shit about her. That's as simple as that. And from the sounds of it, that's what happened.
Well, she said she had her legs crossed, and so Ian's head hit her knee quite hard.
So she's responsible.
She kneed him accidentally, in a sense.
We all need Ian McKellen.
He's great.
he's probably going to be dead within the decade. You know that,
Probably.
right? Realistically.
Yeah,
And I mean, that's going to be a sad fucking day.
it is because he's great.
I don't know how many more
Unless,
celebrity deaths are going to
unless
matter
there
to
are
me.
stories that come out after the fact, in which case we always knew.
I mean, I don't know how many more celebrity deaths are going to have an actual impact on me, right? Realistically, I don't know how many. I'm going to give a shit about. I feel like he's probably one of them.
Yes, I mean, do you have a favourite Ian McKellen role? Sir Ian McKellen, we should say.
Not particularly. I just think he's,
Hmm.
you know. I mean, I liked him as Gandalf, but I've not seen him in anywhere near enough stuff.
Well, yeah, he is great as Gandalf. He's probably the only person who could do that. I don't think there's anybody better.
Will Smith.
I mean, they did want Sean Connery.
Yeah, they did,
Sean
but he
Con-
didn't
oh,
understand
yeah,
it, did he?
I've told this story so many times. Sean Connery got the script, and he had no fucking idea what was. He didn't have a clue. He read it and was like, "What the fuck is this fantasy bullshit?"
Is it
And they
chafe?
offered,
Is it chafe?
they yes.
I mean, it would be that, wouldn't it?
It just doesn't work. I don't know why they went to Sean Connery, and they offered him a percentage of the gross, um,
Okay,
which is a good rule of thumb. You
that's
always,
fucking good.
if they offer you it, you always take a percentage of the gross,
Yeah.
um, because you never fucking know. So, let's see.
Three critically acclaimed movies with the success that they've had and what will continue to be long-lasting success. Because even if they remake them, nothing's gonna outdo for those early 2000s films. It's as simple as that. They're not gonna
So,
be outdone.
I thought it was like 3%.
Yeah.
I'd like to hazard a guess as to how much it was.
5.
No,
Is it higher or lower?
higher,
12.
higher.
20.
15.
Fucking hell.
Up to 15% of the Lord of the Rings worldwide box office receipts. He didn't understand the script. He said no.
But
He
we
would
know
have
what
made
happened next time.
He would have made 400 million
Jesus.
off that.
But in all fairness, it was a long time over in New Zealand.
It was yeah, well, I guess he as you say, we do know what happened next.
Yeah.
He realized, oh shit, this fantasy stuff is going somewhere. I better. He resolved to say yes to the next fantasy type script that came his way. It was the adaptation of Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yep.
The film was critically and commercially a failure. He hated the process so much he quit acting.
See, I actually quite liked that film.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I do quite like that film. I understand that they tried to get him for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the Indiana Jones film, and it was his idea that they kill him off because the role wasn't really big enough. There wasn't really anything for him to do, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing golf. That's all he was doing. He was playing golf in. Where did he live? Where's that? Monaco, I think he lived in Monaco.
Don't know. There's not a lot of space for golf courses in Monaco, just to be clear.
Yeah,
It's quite densely populated for what it is.
Why am I googling that? Let's Google Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
He retired and he just he played golf. I think we sort of underestimate or underrate Sean Connery, Sir Sean, because he's not my favourite Bond, but he is the best Bond. He did briefly voice the title character in the animated Scottish film Sir Billy, but he was disillusioned with it.
If you're gonna put your all into something like that, and it's all gonna blow up in your face, you're gonna be disillusioned, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it was more than that.
If you're gonna miss your
like
second
progress.
massive break, right? Because let's be honest, that's what that would have been if he'd taken Lord of the Rings. But do we really think Sean Connery as Gandalf would have worked?
No, it would have been awful. Well, it wouldn't have been awful. He would have been good. I mean, he was a more versatile actor than you think. But
Yeah,
even
I have every faith that he'd have been okay at it, but would it have been anywhere near as good as Ian McKellen?
No, not Ian McKellen.
No.
You know about? I'm well, sort of interesting tangent. Sean Connery had a brother called Neil,
Okay.
and Neil was a plasterer.
Was he
And
really?
then Sean Connery made it big, so he thought I'd better get into this acting lark, and decided to try and ride his brother's coattails in a James Bond rip-off film called, I think it was called Double 007 or OK Connery, which stood for Operation Kid Brother Connery, and it had a number of Bond film regulars in it, like Lois Maxwell was in it, and the guy who played Largo, one of the villains, he was in it, and he was in it, and there may have been a Bond girl in it as well. And Sean Connery was pretty fucking pissed about this.
Well, understandably so.
Yeah, Lois Maxwell said she got paid more for that than she did for basically all the Bond films she did.
Wow.
So that's telling.
No respect
yes.
for women back then. Not much respect for women now.
No, sorry.
If you can't look good scantily clad, they don't give a damn in the film industry. But we do. We give a damn, don't we, Ben?
Yeah.
So feel free to send us your headshots
Don't be
and
bothered.
join us in our casting room.
Okay, you're pushing it now.
Look, it would be nice to have some new talent, okay?
Okay,
Our voices are probably getting a bit grating for a lot of people. Okay? There's a reason we don't get very many
Does
views.
my voice not soothe you?
No, Ben, your voice does not soothe me.
I'm not a fucking Dalek.
I know you're not. I was trying to do a voice. Clearly it worked. I don't even need a fucking voice synthesizer and I can do that. He uses a fucking machine to make his voice sound like that. Yeah. I'm better than Nicholas Briggs. That's what that tells us. Do you hear that?
Okay, that one wasn't quite as
No,
good.
it wasn't as good. But the first one was decent. It was decent enough.
Suppose.
It was only lightly Daleked, you know. Much like the oil that I have in my salad is lightly garlicked.
Right.
Yeah. It's garlic oil. It's very tasty. Made my own salad yesterday because they didn't have any of the pre-made ones available in the shop when I went. So I had to cut all my stuff up. I put a little bit too much red onion in there.
Well, I have 4 topics left.
This job's nearly done. I feel like if we do another one, it will be encroaching on ridiculous lengths of time. So we'll do this one job and then we'll call it.
Okay.
That's a bit more damage. Would you like me to do one of my topics?
Yeah, go on. How many you got left? Like 5, 6?
5.
Yeah, go on.
So, on the topic of Daleks, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, there's a bit of damage again. There's a truly horrifying story. And I want you to find the picture. I want you to Google this story after I've told you it. So you can see the nightmare fuel that I've seen.
Okay.
This is robots with living skin faces. This is skin that they've put on robot faces so that they can...
Wait, real living skin, did you say?
Real living skin. They've created skin that goes on the faces of these robots. They've grafted it on using some sort of special paste of some sort. Collagen paste, I think it was, they said. And so that it can repair itself and it can react, so they can talk and they can make it smile and all that kind of shit. And it's a fucking most nightmarish thing I've ever seen when it comes to robots. I watched Terminator when I was like 9 years old, and it scared the fucking shit out of me. That's nothing compared to this.
Oh gosh, you're really bigging this up. It's better to deliver. What's it called? Do I just Google human skin robot?
I guess human face skin robot. I think maybe.
Oh.
Have you got the really pink one?
Yeah. Jeez.
Looks a bit like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes, I don't like that.
It's a fucking nightmare fuel, isn't it? I'm telling you.
I don't like the way its eyes are staring at me.
The eyes! There's so much going on in the eyes. What is that going on?
I don't like the faint little smile.
Well, that's the thing. They said, oh, you can make it smile. I don't make it smile. Make it burn in hell.
Well, you can make it smile by hanging yourself in front of it, no doubt.
The eyes are just too wide, aren't they?
No, I don't.
And it's far too pink. But did I build it up too much, or did I adequately build that up? There?
No, I was. I mean, I've seen I thought it was going to be one of those robots that just looks really weird. Those
No,
humanoid robots.
this is
That's
fucking.
deeply disturbed.
This is horrifying. This isn't. This is an uncanny valley. This is. It wants to murder you.
Mm,
But so yeah, that's a thing that I never want to see again. But
the
realistically, I'm
uncanny
going to
face.
have to. Yeah, it's very unpleasant. Very very unpleasant. Yeah. So that's that topic. Just nice quick one. Once you had a chance to Google it.
Yeah. Ugh, I don't know. I don't like that.
Well, sweet dreams tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I've got another quick one that isn't on my list if you want it.
Yeah, go on.
So the Steam sale is on,
Yes.
and I shared a link, a snip with you, and I just want to share this piece of information with everyone else. The Witcher series, the Witcher franchise, is currently up to 0% off,
Yeah.
as per the information. I actually saw afterwards some more, another bunch of series free on the same page, which I didn't send to you. The Call of Duty franchise, Need for Speed franchise, and Company of Heroes franchise also up to 0% off. I think something's bugged out, right? It must have done.
Probably.
But fucking hell, like, if you advertise it properly, yeah. If you're gonna do that,
Yeah.
get it fucking right, because that's the whole. That's what gets people clicking, isn't it? You tell someone a game franchise is up to 75% off, they're gonna click on it, even if they're not that fucking interested in the games, because it's 75% off, right? So get the fucking percentages right, Steam. You know, just get it right.
Yeah. Fuck you, Steam. That's you told.
It's important. They're not doing their job properly, and they get far too much of my money for me to not get a say in it. I should be a fucking shareholder.
Mm.
I guarantee you, I'm in the top 20% of people spending money on Steam. I guarantee it. On games, not on like the side microtransactions, but on games definitely. I buy a lot of games.
Yeah. I'm, yeah. You know that there was a dialer soap service.
No, I don't know what that is.
So if you missed an episode of EastEnders, you could ring a number and get an update.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Wendy Richards narrated it.
Did she
I
call
just found
someone?
out.
Did she call someone a cunt or whatever it was?
No, that was Leslie Grantham referred to her as a wanker,
Oh, okay.
which, apparently, she was a bit of a wanker.
Look, it's nice to have a
yeah,
hobby.
Yeah, I see. Well, yeah. I mean, apparently they wrote an anti-Thatcher rant for her character, and Wendy Richards point blank refused to say it because she thought Thatcher was great.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, those are pretty big games that are 0% off.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a system error there.
absolutely. There must be. But it's not. It doesn't look good, does it? First day of sales, and it's fucking gone pear shaped.
Yeah.
But I'll have a proper look over the weekend and probably end up buying something because I get paid tomorrow. You see,
The Witcher Wild Hunt is 90% off.
already own it. It's like no use to me, mate. Is that as much use to me as a cold Big Mac is to a homeless guy in Birmingham?
The marzipan dildo. Anyway.
The fact, no, I mean that wouldn't be any good to you because the fucking marzipan's going to cause all sorts of UTI issues. You'll get a fucking yeast infection.
It's like using, to quote Veep, it's like using a croissant as a dildo. It doesn't do the job and it makes a fucking mess.
True that.
The Witcher. Let's see if it's on mine as well.
What, do you think you might own it?
No, if it comes up as 0%, I'm not getting anything for 0%.
No, you're not. Maybe they fixed it since then. Possibly.
Yeah, which one were you looking at? The trilogy?
No, it was on the. It wasn't. I didn't
Trilogy.
look for the games. It was just on the splash page.
The Witcher trilogy is 89% off. It was 46 quid. It's now at 520.
You understand? You still won't buy it and play it.
No, it's pretty impressive. What's GTA 5 at? 14 quid. 14 bloody quid.
I own GTA 5. Imagine if we played online together. We'd murder each other repeatedly because that's something we can do.
Yeah, you put me off it now.
I wouldn't deliberately murder you. I'll tell you what though, I'll never forget the day I was playing online on the Xbox way back when, and someone was following me in a helicopter, quite low to the ground. So I slowed down, threw a sticky bomb at them, drove off and blew it up, and they fucking it murdered them. I'll never forget that. It's the one cool thing I did in GTA 5 Online.
I bet they were so unhappy.
Good. I'll fucking teach them. I'll also never forget that one time I was playing Dead Island, and some randomer came along, gave me an awesome gun, and it was basically one hit kill everything. And I finished the game with it because it was such a good gun.
I think you gave me that gun when we briefly played.
I can't remember. Maybe. There was some sort of swap trade thing, wasn't there?
Is this us finishing this, or have we got time for one more? Do you think?
One more what? One more topic, or?
Yeah, looks like we're finishing here.
Yeah, I'm just about to park up. How long's the topic?
Oh, that's fine. It will keep.
Okay. So we'll do the old park it up thing. I'll just. There we go. Okay, hell, it didn't like that, did it? So we travelled 1,100 kilometres. So we got 1,100 experience for it, plus a bunch of money. I didn't get as much of a penalising for the damage as I was expecting, so that's fine. What are we going to spend our thingy on, Ben? Shall we do another long distance one so we get a proper thingy?
Well, I shot you down last time, but I think you should do what you want. When I said when you asked if we should take out a loan, and I said no.
Oh, you think we should take out a loan?
Well, do you want to?
Well, you see, the reason why we needed to take out a loan, Ben, was so that we could, if I can find it, go to the garage manager. They've changed the UI since last time, since I started playing it. We need to upgrade this, and we need 180,000 to do it. We have 179,000 now. So if we were to take out a loan, we'd basically be paying it off for no point. If we do one more job, we can then upgrade the garage, hire someone, and then they are going to be basically pure profit. Everything they bring in is going to be pure profit. Because we've got
for that then.
Well, that's the plan. Yeah, that's when you shut down the loan the first few times. I was like, yeah, fair enough. That's it. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Work our arse off. Because then we can hire another person and do the same thing again when they've been.
Do we get to name them too?
I don't think so. Let's see if I can. Where's the thing? Does it let me hire people? Recruitment agency. We discovered one in Cologne apparently. No, we can hire Joseph B or Steve W. He looks like he's on drugs and he looks like a sex offender. So offer two of them and we know who we're hiring.
Do we?
Yeah.
The
cheap one.
Oh. Yeah. Yes. Well, there's not much in it. There's only 10 euros in it.
Yeah, but that's per job. And 30 cents per kilometre. Plus, this one's got the eco-driving thing, right? Which means that he'll use this fuel.
And sex offenders priced himself out of the market.
He has. We might hire him anyway, to be fair. Look at that beard. Anyway, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
So we'll deal with it next week, I should think. And then we'll see the benefits of it the week after.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we can track them on the map, you see.
Oh, just to make sure they're not
jerking off in fields. Yeah. Something like that. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all for joining us.
Is that an occupational hazard?
What, jerking off in a field? Let's just say I work for a haulage company and I refuse to answer that question.
Every now and then you say something quite funny.
Yeah, well, you know.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone. Goodbye. Join us next week.
In a field.
In a field.